Televangelism is a $2 billion a year industry, and one of the hottest stars in religious broadcasting is Pastor Benny Hinn. Millions of people watch him on TV. You can see him here in Chicago on Channel 38. Tonight, in a News Extra, Channel 2's Pam Zeckman takes us on a leap of faith that includes millions of dollars and a man some call a holy hustler.
We are anointed! We are anointed! We are anointed!
They come by the thousands to sing, to pray, to weep, to be overcome by the Spirit of the Lord. They come seeking miracles, and Pastor Benny Hinn gives them what they want.
12 empty wheelchairs in the first few minutes of the service.
In crusades from coast to coast, Hinn preaches the power of God to heal cancer, make the deaf hear and the blind see.
How many fingers?
5. Millions more see the healings on television. Some call him the miracle man. But critics, even those who believe in faith healing, are questioning Hinn's methods and his miracles.
I command you, spirit of deafness, in Jesus' name, come out!
These two brothers from Chicago, born profoundly deaf, were declared healed. A third brother, also deaf, was supposedly healed even though he wasn't there.
In proxy, his mama is standing, and I break the curse of deafness on her son. Now! Glory, glory, glory!
That's pretty exciting, but there's one problem. The boys are still deaf. At our request, a school audiologist tested them.
The boys continue to have the same hearing loss that we've been measuring for years.
No miraculous healing.
No miraculous healing.
I believe he's committing fraud in the name of God.
Ole Anthony runs a televangelist watchdog group. He says healings should not be televised unless they're medically verified.
All of the desperate people in America see these phony miracles, and the implication, if they send money, then God's going to give them a miracle. It infuriates me.
After 2 months of refusing an interview, Hinn says God told him to talk to me, but he wouldn't reveal his personal income, reportedly more than $500,000 a year from salary and tape and book royalties.
What are your royalties?
I won't tell you. No, I'm not going to share that. That's private, it's personal.
But the miracles that inspire millions to send money are public. Hinn says he no longer declares people healed, he lets them do it.
We don't mislead anyone, Pam. If someone comes up and says they're healed, we don't call them liars.
If it's a healing, the healing should be verifiable by a medical doctor.
Hinn promised critics he'd get medical proof of healings before televising them, but he couldn't provide medical verification of any of the 6 Chicago cases we asked about.
A leap of faith that could be deadly. A sea of supporters pays to be healed by Pastor Benny Hinn. But now critics say that some people have been hurt, not healed by the televangelist's touch. In tonight's News Extra investigation, Pam Zeckman exposes how a faith healer could be hurting his own flock.
This is your brace.
A touch from the hand of Pastor Benny Hinn, and believers are overcome by the presence of the Lord. So strong is the feeling, they fall even if he just blows into the microphone. It's known as slaying in the Spirit. Hinn prefers to call it falling under the power of God. His critics, even those who believe in faith healing, say it's not the power of God, but the power of suggestion that makes people swoon.
The people are worked up into a frenzy. They know what's expected of them, and they do it. I think it is theatrical, and I think it is a gimmick.
And, they say, it's dangerous.
I believe it's irresponsible. People are hurt all the time, and it's just never reported.
But one death has been reported. An 85-year-old woman died of complications from a broken hip after a man fell on top of her at a crusade. Hinn settled a $15 million lawsuit with her family for an undisclosed amount.
Take it in Jesus' name!
That hasn't stopped Hinn from mass slayings like this one we saw at a crusade in Minneapolis. This little girl suffered a sprained ankle, sprained knee, and torn ligaments in a crush of falling bodies.
It felt like my leg was numb. I started to cry and I yelled.
If I know anyone was injured, I will go personally and pray for them.
Hinn claims very few people have been hurt over the years. He defends the practice of slaying in the Spirit as something God does through him, and he says it's no act.
People don't fall because it's the part of suggestion, you know. Well, we're dealing with a greater power than electricity. That's God's power.
But it's the power of television that's bringing Benny Hinn to millions of believers every day.